Garzoso from Cabanbaran City, province of Agusan del Norte. What's something interesting about myself is that I am a psoriasis warrior. I'm a beauty queen with a skin disease which is unconventional. However, I did not let this stop me from achieving my dreams. 5 years ago, I was covered all over my body with sores that bled and itch. However, I quickly rose above it because I want to use my story and experiences to empower those who are like me and those who do not necessarily have it but can relate to me. So I use that experience in order to come here in Miss Universe and transform lives and inspire others. I believe what makes someone influential are their values, especially if you are a person with integrity. If you're a person with integrity, it means you do everything right towards or right on what you think, and even if no one is looking. And I believe that is very important because we need this consistency so that people will then see results with our actions even if no one is watching us. One perfect example about this is what I experienced in Southern Leyte. It is a fusion between culture and modernization of our culture. They were able to quickly and efficiently merge both aspects, wherein a lot of the candidates have been able to appreciate it in the modern days. And so with these experiences, I can bring it forth the Miss Universe platform, and I know that I am rich in these experiences so that I will be able to offer this to the universe.
And now our question from Jomer.
The South Sea Pearl, as I've experienced back in Palawan, I've really appreciated how wonderful and how tedious it is to create one pearl. And I am known in this competition as a dark horse. They've never seen me in the national pageant, although I did do an online one, but I see myself as a South Sea Pearl, waiting and being cultivated every day by my experience, by my community, and by my family. And now I'm finally here showing the universe what I'm capable of, that I am beautiful and that I'm an inspirational Filipina. And that for me is what the South Sea Pearl Gem represents.
Our question from Smiley.
Hello. How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
It is very essential because Smiley and supporting local products does not only help us in showcasing what Filipinos are made of, but it also helps us uplift our community by providing livelihood to our fellow Filipinos and contributing a lot towards our economy. And as an entrepreneur, I know what it feels like. I know the hard work and the patience and the value that you put in our community.
Thank you, Agusan del Norte.
Thank you.
Hi, Callie. Tell us something interesting about yourself.
I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I actually play chess. I love chess, and I played for the first 12 years of my life competitively. And the interesting thing there is I actually won 4 national chess championships. So I guess you could say I liked queens, like being a queen at a young age, right?
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
I would probably say it is a feeling of confidence. I'm a big believer in fake it until you make it, because I am somebody that definitely gets imposter syndrome. I sometimes feel like I'm not worthy enough to stand here and speak to all of you, that I'm not worthy enough to be a Q&A mentor, or sometimes I'm not pretty enough to be a beauty queen. But with confidence, with knowing my worth, that it's more than the shallowness
you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinos navigating this challenge?
I know that a lot of us young women sometimes feel so far removed from our past, from our culture, but just by being a part of a conversation, whether it be in inclusive policy making or maybe just by having a discussion with your friends, you can truly bring it to the modern age. We want our world today to not just be reflective of what we need in our society, but also aspirational to what we want for our future as well.
Homer?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
The pearl, of course, is the world's only living gem, which I think is so incredible, not just in the fact that it is so rare in that aspect, it is so beautiful, but also it's made by a community of people. And as somebody that truly believes in collective action, how every single person has a role to play making a change, the pearl is symbolic of that. That every single person has a role, has a shape in making change and making a difference.
Miley Apparel.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smile in the Philippines?
Well, I don't know if you can hear from my accent, but I did not grow up here. For the first 10 years of my life, I lived in the US, and I did not see a lot of Filipinos around me. I did not see a lot of Filipino products. But every time I would come to visit, I would go to Green Hills, and I would pick up as many Filipino products as I can and wear them to school the next day. So local products do mean a lot to me, not just as somebody that grew up abroad, but as somebody that really takes pride in the artistry, culture, and the ability as well for us delegates and next Miss Universe Philippines to bring that across the board.
Thank you so much, Pasig.
Thank you.
That's it.
Everybody, happy World Lupus Day. If you didn't know.
Didn't know.
Well, you
Hi,
should
Nikki.
now. You're welcome.
Tell us something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself is, of course, my advocacy is lupus. I am a lupus warrior. But in my journey of having an invisible illness, I learned that there are so many other people in this world who have unseen struggles. And that led me towards learning sign language. So maybe after this interview today, I could teach you a little bit of sign language that you could take home with you.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
I believe what makes somebody influential is the courage to be authentically who they are. I think it takes a lot of vulnerability, a lot of innovation, and a lot of strength to show the universe that you are you and to be unabashed in that. And through that unabashedness and that courage, you then empower other people to be themselves. And it's in that individuality and uniqueness that we can cultivate so many empowering and inspirational people.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinos navigating this challenge?
I believe that tradition offers us wisdom from the people of our past, and it's important to respect our elders and to use that wisdom to guide us. However, I would empower modern day Filipinos to honor your truth, to know that what is most important is to follow what is in your heart, and to take that wisdom to guide you towards what you know is meant for you, and to be unafraid in going towards your dreams and your goals, knowing that you are empowering the younger people before you to make their own traditions.
Wilbur?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does the national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
For me, the South Sea Pearl represents a transformational journey. It shows that amidst difficulty, amidst hardship, that with enough patience, with enough strength, with enough hard work, resilience, kindness, and collaboration, that something beautiful can come from even the smallest piece of dirt. That you can make your life the way you wish it to be, because you are your own oyster.
Miley Apparel.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smile in the Philippines?
I believe it's incredibly important. But I believe what is more important as a teacher is to educate our youth in that knowledge. would love to see implementing business initiatives in our local schools to teach children that they do not have to import different goods, that they themselves can create homegrown materials, and to empower future companies like Future Smileys, Future Jewelers, and future other amazing things. Because here in the Philippines, we have innovative, amazing, inspirational children.
Thank you so much, Taguig. Nikki Breedville,
Hello, good morning, Sir B. Good morning, everyone.
tell us something interesting about yourself.
Oh, to most people, they know me as a CEO of an egg farm, an entrepreneur, an advocate, and a well-rounded achiever. But what most of them do not know is that I've gone through difficult shifts in my life, and I've created pivotal decisions to be able to carry through and to thrive, such as when I had to shift from a medical course to a business track because we found out that I'm immunocompromised and my dream to becoming a doctor is no longer possible. But, here we are still, nurturing and caring, just on a different platform.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
I guess what makes a person influential is the respect that they earn from the people that look up to them and the people who follow them. Because more than the flowery credentials, it's when that person stays true to their core, speaks with authenticity, and uses the skills and knowledge that they've gained to better not only his life, but also the lives of others, therefore empowering many others that makes the difference.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinas navigating this challenge?
I think our culture and tradition make up for most of our values, and this creates our actions compass. And when we mix this with our modern day knowledge, we become more equipped and we can advance through this ever-changing modern world.
Wilmer?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
The South Sea Pearl for me represents the story of every Filipino. Its story of becoming is just as the story of every Filipino who's gone through difficulties in life, but has still emerged victorious, incredibly beautiful, and talented. And I think the South Sea Pearl is an emblem of our history. It's an emblem of her story and their stories.
Miley Apparel.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
When we patronize local, we do not only buy local products or support the business owner who owns the brand, but it's also a step towards advocating for sustainable livelihood. Because when we wear local, buy local, and patronize local, we are also supporting the economic sustenance of the workers who provide and create skillfully these local products.
Thank you so much, Eastern Samar.
Thank you.
Irish Ramos.
Have a great day, everyone.
Good morning, Eman. Over here.
Good morning, everyone.
Tell us something interesting about yourself.
Well, I'm a woman of many interests, as my ADHD made sure of. I am a singer-songwriter, an actress, a host, but I'm also an adventure enthusiast, an outdoorsy person, and a bookworm, and a huge nerd. So I'd like to think that I experience the best of both worlds.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
To me, an influential woman is someone who is a leader, who leads by example, and who doesn't merely use words, but who fortifies her words with actions, and someone who cares for her community and uses her platform to maximize that and to be of service to her fellow man. And so for me, an inspirational woman is just that, someone who steps out of her comfort zone to serve her community.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinas navigating this challenge?
Well, I'd like to think I'm a pretty traditional girl. I hold fast really to the values that my parents have imbued in me since childhood, but also I continuously shoot for the stars in an ever-shifting world. So the advice that I would give, the advice that I would give to other young ladies is to be courageous in marrying both worlds, to glean what they can from the best of both worlds, and not to be afraid to go against the grain or the trend.
Wilmer,
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
Well, as a sustainability advocate, it really is a representation of the importance of conserving our environment, our biodiversity, our various ecosystems, because of the beautiful treasures that they produce. And as a mental health advocate, for me, it's a reminder that the most stunning things can come out of grueling processes if we approach them with love and with care, and we don't give up.
Smiley Apparel.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
I think it is of utmost importance that we look after our own, that we care for our kababayans, that we ensure that our economy is thriving, and that Filipinos are offered the opportunity to have livelihood, that SMEs and big businesses that are local alike have the opportunity as well to succeed. It is important that we look after our own. That is of utmost importance. Let's make sure that the Filipinos thrive and we promote our local businesses because, let's face it, Filipinos are world-class anyway, so why not?
Thank you so much. Cebu Province, Emmanuel Vera. Michelle Marquez D.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations, you're halfway through. I'm usually the halfway mark for the provinces.
Tell us something interesting about yourself.
Thank you. Well, I am a lifelong advocate, I'm an actress, I'm an entrepreneur, but I think the most interesting part about myself is the willpower that I have in everything that I do. I wear very many hats. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I was in the hospital. I was fighting for my life because I lost so much blood. On my birthday, no less, and I had to undergo through surgery. But I think what I'm trying to inspire here is that with everything that I do, I put 100% of myself, and I realize that this is a mission, and that in all of those facets that I take on, I will always give it my all.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
Well, social media actually plays a very vital part in terms of, in social media negativity, and it can also spread a lot of positivity as well. I think we have to realize that all of us are very influential in our own life, whether it be negative and positive. And what I should do, and what I hope others will do also, is that we should be accountable for our actions. We should always be kind. One positive comment can go a long way, but one negative comment can also send somebody in tears.
Doug,
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
Well, the South Sea Pearl is an amazing thing, and I think it can actually represent every Filipino. For me, my pageant journey, for every time that I've joined, I've discovered something new about myself, something beautiful, and perfection takes time. And just like the South Sea Pearl, it takes months, if not years, to perfect that. And for every Filipina, we embody this kind of ambiance and this kind of perfection that we should really be proud to show the world.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
Well, I actually really admire Smiley because it's a brand that empowers Filipino, because not only is it made by the Filipino, but for the Filipino as well. For every shirt that is made by Smiley, it gives opportunities for Filipinos to have more jobs or to represent a brand that actually sets the standard, and it can really compete internationally. And I really believe that it's about time that we show the world that we have more products that can really compete and be proud of internationally.
and one last question is, how do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations, and what advice would you give to other young Filipinas navigating this challenge?
I think the best way to do that is by example. I am an empowered Filipina that respects my roots, respects where I came from. I am tenacious. I am dedicated with everything that I do, and that is something that I believe is present in every Filipino around the world. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to break stereotypes. I'm not afraid to break boundaries, whether in pageantry I sported short hair, whether in my acting gigs I would sport the most masculine job that represents adrenaline-filled activities. And that's something that I'm very proud of, and I hope other people
Thank you
aspire
very
to do
much.
as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Makati. Michelle Marquez D.
Thank you.
Maadjong buntag, kaninyong tanan.
Good morning, Pauline.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm back here. Tell us something interesting about yourself.
This is the third time that I'm doing this. I think that's pretty interesting. I'm also a free diver, and that has led me to become an advocate for marine conservation. But I'm also now an advocate for body positivity and self-love. My previous journeys, I've really received a lot of bashing when it comes to my body, but I've learned, I've grown, and I love myself more for it now.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
I think it's being relatable. I think it's very important that people can still relate to your journey, that people can still relate to your story, and draw strength from that too. And I think that is a very important part of being influential and being a transformational leader too.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinas navigating this challenge?
My mom is actually the one that balances that for me. She's a very conservative, typical Filipina. So she always tells me, no, you can't do that because, you know, we're Filipinas. We have to be more patient. You can't dress like hubadera, stuff like that. So it's actually really my mom that helps me balance all those different values.
Hey, Wilmer?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
It represents the power of personal change and personal progress. I really relate to the South Sea Pearl because it also undergoes different processes. It also passes through many different caring hands before the South Sea Pearl becomes the beauty that it actually is. And it's the same with us people. We also undergo through different processes before we can become our best, our shiniest, and our ultimate.
Miley Apparel.
Hi.
Hello.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
I think it is super important. We're not just representing or supporting the product itself. We're supporting the Filipinos that are behind the product. We're supporting the Filipino values that the brand stands for. And I hope that more of the companies would be able to reach out to Smiley for them to also wear your brand with their logos on. I already talked to JCI. Hopefully they will be contacting you for that too, so that all of us will be able to take part in promoting Filipino products and promoting the Filipino jobs, promoting the Filipino.
Thank you so much, Bohol. Pauline Amelix.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, rather.
Good morning, Sam. Tell us something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself is that I work for my family's business. And so at a young age of 10, I used to go to the office with my dad. And although during those times I didn't appreciate it as much, I think that that gave me a voice, and my dad showed me that my voice mattered. And it really did have a long-lasting effect to the present.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
I think what makes someone influential is by their actions. Because when you look at someone's social media, I don't think that the number of followers, comments, or likes should define them. What defines them is the actions that they take. And I am a firm believer. I even have a podcast called Walk the Talk. And I think that someone who aims to be influential should always do that.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinas navigating this challenge?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinas navigating this challenge?
I think to find the cultural traditions and to also modernize it, first we need to accept it. I'm from Cavite, and in Cavite they always say, basta Caviteño palaban.
And so I think bravery is part of our values in our traditional Filipino, but nowadays I think bravery means something else. It means being able to stand up for yourself and break stereotypes, especially for women. I think that we do that on a daily basis. And so if we are able to find the dialogue between traditional and modern values, then I think that we can definitely apply both.
Wilmer?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
Well, the Philippines is of course known as the Pearl of the Orient, as it should, and rightfully so, because like the Philippines, it embodies beauty, simplicity, grace, and I think that not only describes the Philippines and the tourism spots that we have, but also our people. And so I think it's very, very important to preserve the pearls, because also looking at it from a financial or business point, it can compete with international markets as well in jewelry and high fashion. And so I think that to preserve the pearl means to immortalize our culture and to also promote it.
Miley Apparel?
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
I think it's very, very important to support local. I'm an advocate for sustainable agriculture, and I know that weaving and harvesting also encompasses apparel. And so I think that it's very important to support local, because we need to provide more jobs for the Philippine market. Again, our economy is not the most stable, especially after COVID, and there's a lot of inflation right now. And so if we do support local and give our people jobs that they need, then I think that we can all aim for a better and prosperous life.
Thank you so much, Cavite.
Thank you,
Samantha
everyone.
Panil.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning, Angelique. Tell us something interesting about yourself.
Oh, I don't ever get to tell this story, but one interesting fact about myself is that I am a miracle baby. My mother gave birth to me when she was in her menopausal age of 41, and I almost didn't have a shot in this life. So it makes me the risk taker that I am now, because having that fear of not experiencing what life had to offer pushed me to really step out of my comfort zone and even take risks.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
When we think of the word influence, sometimes we associate it with a grand scheme of things, when in fact we've always been very influential, even in our smaller, closer circles rather. And so I think that if we use this influence to make social media what it is, if we share our stories, push for our advocacies, and make these purpose into actions, then we're able to not only influence within the realm of social media, but even beyond the universe.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinos navigating this challenge?
Our traditions and our cultural heritage has shared with us and inculcated in us values that we could use to propel ourselves during globalization or even modern times. It is in the way that we make the most out of our Filipino values to show that we are globally capable and able to keep up with the times, that we are able to show that we could be a marriage of both our traditions and the ever-changing times.
Wilmer?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you?
We've had a trip in Palawan, and it really ignited the fire and the meaning of pearl for me, that a pearl is not just a cultural heritage or a part of the cultural heritage rather of our country, but it signifies pure passion, pure hard work, and perseverance. It is a journey that is not only taken by one to become a pearl, but through the help of many hands to become the pearl that it is. And so I see the South Sea Pearl as a symbol of us Filipinos who are strong.
Miley Apparel?
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smile in the Philippines?
When we support local, we do not only provide a sustainable livelihood, but also we honor the hard work, the effort, and the time put into creating these products. And we also honor what it truly means
to become Filipino when we support local products. And so I hope we would step out and really rally for locally produced products and honor them and celebrate it as our own.
Thank you so much, Pampanga.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much.
Angelique Manta. You know what that means. Tell us something interesting about yourself.
So I am an Indigenous livelihood advocate, and I myself have Indigenous roots from the Mandaya tribe. And what I'm wearing right now is actually in honor of the Mandaya tribe. It is made with abaca fiber, abaca fabric, and the main source of income of the Mandaya tribe is abaca farming. And it's such a beautiful thing, so I wanted to honor them as the core of my Miss Universe journey with what I'm wearing today.
What makes someone influential in this day and age amidst the shallow social media noise?
Someone influential is someone who has a higher purpose. And I found mine with supporting the livelihood of our Indigenous communities. I connected the Mandaya tribe that I am a part of to the Department of Labor and Employment's Livelihood Assistance Program to accelerate and support their abaca production, because this is such a big part of their culture. And from what I've learned all these years, I started my advocacy 2 years ago, and I learned that supporting their livelihood also means sustaining their culture.
How do you balance cultural and traditional values with modern day aspirations? And what advice would you give to other young Filipinos navigating this challenge?
I consider myself a modern Filipina, but I am still grounded by Filipino values such as respect for our family, the warmth and hospitality of Filipinos. But at the same time, I am vocal about my causes, and I think these are traits of a modern Filipina. So if there's any advice I could give, is that to embrace their individuality, but don't forget their roots of what it means to be a Filipina.
Wilmer?
As a delegate for Miss Universe Philippines 2023, what does our national gem, the South Sea Pearl, represent to you? Seeing the entire process firsthand in Palawan, I really noticed how beautiful it is and how it reflects our Filipino traits. And as an advocate for livelihood and cultural preservation, I know how important it is to preserve our national gems for future generations. And so I'm so proud and happy that Jewelmer has partnered with Miss Universe Philippines.
Miley Apparel.
How important do you think it is to support and promote locally made products like Smiley in the Philippines?
So like the abaca fabric that I'm wearing, Smiley Apparel is also proudly Filipino. It celebrates Filipino craftsmanship, but it is of world-class quality, and I am so proud that we have that here in Miss Universe Philippines. And I hope that with the girls wearing the shirts and the apparel, we could also encourage Filipinos to support what is ours, because this can also support the livelihood of our Filipino workers in our country. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Davao Oriental, Liza Ferrando Castro.